The Age of Empires 2 map Nomad is all about adapting. There is a meta and there are things you wish to achieve, and every civilization has their strengths and weaknesses, but it's unlike other maps where you have scouts and you always know what to expect. This is a little bit different than what I normally upload, so it's one individual game, it's an individual cast. However, I make references to a game that happened a week or two prior, and at the conclusion of this game, which is a really interesting game, I want to show you evidence of how I believe the player learned how to address this type of strategy their opponent's going for. Enjoy. All right. So we were curious on what civilization Tata would pick for his home map here, and that's not normal. Normally, you look at a map, and if they've selected it for their home map, you know exactly what civilization they're going to play. We have some Nomad action here, guys. We've got an amazing little generation. We've got Tato, and Tato's in the red. Look at this TC. He's got stone and gold there. The goal for him playing as the Turks is to use the stone and the gold and drop a castle and make Janissary. So in terms of the TC starting position, absolutely a good TC spot for him. He is also docked in north, which we'll talk about. And then Viper, he's actually not too far away, and his TC is also looking pretty good. Right there on a stone and a wood line. The gold's not too far away if he scouts it. And then he has docked the right side. And the beauty of Malians is because all their wood buildings are so cheap, they can afford to go dock, house, TC, fishing ship at the start. No other civilization except Persians can compete in that regard. So Malians are more flexible, which allows for more fishing and more transitioning to land. Just they can do everything a little bit easier. And that's why Malians are seen as top 5 on Nomad. They're like clearly top 5, I think. I think there's no question. There are some exceptions, possibly, if you're someone who really likes to play into castle drops, right? Because Malians don't really do that. But like Malians, Persians are picked because of their economy and their options, not because of their Gibetto. Sorry, Gibetto. Now, you know, the big talking point on this version, Nomad, is always the scouting. We have the little pond in the middle here that, for all you know, your opponent could have docked. So you have to scout those things. And so what you do is if you have sheep, you scout. And Viper, just grabbing another sheep there. I think he just wants to scout this area of his map. At the moment, he doesn't actually see any gold. Excuse me, sorry. So yeah, if Viper were to just use the sheep to go along to the north, he would find that Tata was docked there. And they are both docked on the outer ring. And they're not too far away from each other. I think with where Viper is docked, he will most likely transition to another dock over here because he knows there's going to be a bit more water over there. And Tato actually has the best docking position in the whole game because he's got so much fish. But Malians, again, are just able to contest it a whole lot easier, contest for the water than a lot of other civilizations. So I think it'll be more of a question of, does Tato even compete on water? Or does Tato just give up on water and go for the castle drop? And in my opinion, Tato should absolutely compete on water because his unique unit costs food. Like, too many people with Spanish or Turks or... well, those are the best two examples. I'm trying to think of another unique unit that costs food and gold that's ranged. Can anyone think of one? Anyways, too many people with a food gold unique unit want to drop the castle, and they get all excited. And then they don't have food income. So they make it to Castle Age, and then they lose all their fish, and they have like 2 sheep. They can make like 2 conquistadors or 3 conquistadors, and then it's it. So I think you absolutely have to compete on water in the long term. So you might just be at a bit of a disadvantage there. Now, Arambai cost wood and gold. So I think Janissaries and conquistadors are probably the best examples. No one's going castle drop into Axemen or Mamelukes, as fun as that might be. So again, we got to check this scouting, and this might actually make Viper... Oh, wait, no, never mind. He lost the sheep here. So there was some feedback from a couple individuals. I will not name names. A lot of people were like, we don't like this version of Nomad. It's too luck-based. Sometimes it's just GG because you can't find their dock. And I said it more professionally than I'm maybe going to say it now because I am an admin, and admins must remain professional. But I was like, I professionally said, I feel like this version of Nomad adds a lot of variety. It takes you to the true spirit of Nomad, which is what we wanted. And then I basically said, and I believe there's been very clear examples of that from the best players so far. And like, look at what Viper saw 3 minutes ago. And then look at what he's at now. Maybe that was 5 minutes ago. He knows exactly where Tato's docked because he lost the sheep on the shoreline. He's on the way to feudal age super fast, and he's docking right next to it. I did not say get good, but it's the true spirit of Nomad. Like, this is not an easy map to play, and you've got to figure things out, and that was the biggest talking point we had. So Viper just knew, after scouting this shoreline, after checking everything here, he just found it. And Tato also, here's the other aspect of this. Tato should know he's been found because he saw the sheep. So he's going to hear the little bloop bloop, and the sheep being found by him absolutely tells him that Viper knows he's there. And so I think Tato has now shifted his strategy to let's just give up the water. All right, we're going to get as much food from that as possible. Unfortunately for us, we're not going to be able to save our fish, and let's just go fast castle. And again, it's like the perfect TC for it, because it's going to be very unlikely that Viper's going to, well, it's going to be very difficult for Viper, let's just say, to deny the stone and the goal. He does see the villagers there, so he might imagine that the TC is there. And Tato also dropping some outposts because his opponent's fast to feudal. Could always be some type of land pressure. I like the outposting from both. Now, again, I've casted every single game so far, and I will actually cast every single one of Platinum. I won't miss a single game. I might hate myself after it's over in mid-February, but it's worth it, and we're going to do it. So I've seen it all, and you guys might not have been able to, okay? But if you were watching, there was a game for Viper where it was against Barrels, actually, where Barrels was clearly giving up water, and Viper added 4 fire ships. Does anyone remember this? He went 2 dock, 4 fires. And then he went for the barracks and the range. And in that game, man, I wish I could like pull up an example of it right now to show you. Basically, Barrels was dropping the castle when Viper had 1 archer. So this is... I believe that Viper has kind of learned some lessons there. And he's trying to find a faster land pressure because he knows he's already going to be in a good spot on the water. So again, if you didn't watch that game, it was Barros had beaten Viper. Now, I also was critical of Viper, and I said, why on earth are you not banning Spanish? He ended up losing to Spanish, blah, blah, blah. But this is a similar situation, and so now he's like going to have enough archers to be able to hit Tato before he actually has the castle, and he's killing Tato's fish with just enough pressure. So I think Viper has played the near perfect start so far for his civilization here on Nomad, honestly. And I think Tato's going to be in a really rough position here. But he will likely drop his castle. It's just then a question of how good is it going to be. Now, next thing that comes to mind for me. Okay, so let's say you know Tato's going to drop the castle. I had mentioned a stone wall. And Viper tried it, and Barrels also had an amazing play and petarded it. Again, I actually forgot how good that game was. I think I need to upload it to YouTube, like, late or something. I mean, it's on the Extras channel, but I mean the main channel. Anyways, I'm wondering if Viper is going to be tempted to stonewall this. Just stonewall it off so Tato can't get the castle down on you. Because when the castle drop happens, it's going to be... Well, I mean, the potential of it to do damage is so much greater because you guys are close together. Also, I'm not sure about taking the berries here. I mean, maybe over here would be a little safer just in case the pressure comes in. But Viper figures there's no way that his opponent can drop the castle forward now. It has to be a very defensive castle at his base because of this pressure. I mean, these are fletching archers. Great job from Tato to wall here. Great job from Tato to wall here. And wall here, so Viper can't really run back there. T90, the Turks logo is flipped at the top. Yeah, all the logos actually do that with Capture Age. But the Turks one isn't symmetrical, so it becomes very obvious. Whereas the Malians icon is symmetrical. I have no way of changing that. I could change their sides, like I could do this. And now it's perfect, but obviously that makes no sense because the players are flip-flopped, so I gotta change it back. Sorry about that. Capture Age is literally broken. Unusable. Unplayable. But you see what Tato wants to do here? Like, Viper has adapted so nicely. And he's now kind of got this balance down to perfection, I think, compared to that game he lost against Barles. It feels crazy. I mean, Viper's probably not going to say, oh, yeah, I remember that being a mistake against Barles. Maybe he would. I don't know. But for me, it seems very clear. It's the same civilization for Viper, same situation where he's up against either Turks or Spanish. He knows it's going to be a castle drop, and he's done a better job. Now, we freaked out. We got excited. Can he stop it? Can he actually stop it? He is going to stonewall. And he is going to panic now. Okay? So he's done a better job up to this point. He died last time. Is it something that he can actually survive against this time? He said that on his stream. Okay, perfect. Well, there we go. So I'm not just some crazy guy, you know, spouting out theories that isn't based on reality. Hey T90, when you get the chance, can you explain what's different about this Nomad version? Yeah, basically, the water is not fully symmetrical around the outside. There's usually a landlock or potential for a landlock. There's also potential for little ponds. And what that does is, I mean, the other aspects of it are still balanced with golds and stones and berries, whatever else. But what that does is that encourages more scouting. It encourages more variety. If you were to play 1v1 Nomad on the ladder, the water's always evenly spaced, and so you can always play the same way because it's always going to be the same type of map gen. Obviously, there's still a lot of adapting needed. And I'm not even saying for the ladder version that they should not have those things, because I think, you know, Nomad is already adds too much variety for the average player. But for tournaments, I got really sick of everyone just going 2 to 3 docks on water into a faster castle age, into knights and monks. Now you've got like a lot more variety and sneakiness. Okay, so Tata with the pressure. He actually opened with a ram, which surprised me. Normally you're going to see a mangonel. That way you can at least hit the TC. But look at Tata's food count, guys. He can't afford many more of these, and Viper knows it. So Viper's going to bring the knights in, and the knights are going to get some hits, but the archers are getting some hits before, and oh man, Viper just perfect. And now the ram looks even more questionable. I guess the mangonel would have as well. By the way, worth pointing out, I'm sure the experienced viewers picked up on this, but Viper also had added a few more fishing ships, so he had the food eco. He transitioned to safer gold over here if he needed it. He had more food income. He had berries. He had deer. And yeah, Tato's just like dead. That was so good from Viper. Again, I wish I could pull up. Actually, hold on a second. One second, okay? This is really good content. I'm sure I have the rec. One moment. I'm going to show you the difference. Because this is just clear as day to me. The adaptations from Viper from one game to the next. All right, so this is the game. Now, I want you to watch this. We're going to speed through a lot of this. I'll go as fast as I can. Barles is in blue. Barles is over here. Barles docks here. Okay. Viper docks here. Now, I forget if Viper had located Barles' fish or not, but I believe he did. And I remember he docks to the right side. So I want you to watch this. Obviously, they were a bit further away, which is a factor. So look, scouting with the goats. Okay, scouting with the goats. Boom, finds the dock. So, important talking point. Spanish are going to want to go conks. So Viper goes even faster in that game. And I want you to watch how many fire galleys he makes. So he goes for the barracks, ready? But he goes second dock. And he queues up 3 fires. And I thought he went 4. Notice there's no archer range. So he's already on his way to kill fish with fires from both sides. That's already enough, but he continued to add more. There's no archers yet. Keep looking. And watch how this plays out, right? Remember, in the previous game we just watched, he killed Tato's fish with 2 fires. Viper made 4 here. He made the outpost. Same deal as before. But look, he's waiting for the range, waiting for the range, waiting for the range. There's the range. And now watch the timing. Obviously, this isn't Tato. Capture Age is confused now. So then, Barles is able to secure the map with a castle that gives him access to a hill and gold, and Viper's archer does nothing. And then the rest of the game is very, very awkward for the Viper. See what I mean? Like, that's a clear change And obviously, Barles had a sick play here where he added a petard too. But that was a really sick change. And then, like, you fast forward in this game, and Viper's completely dead 5 to 7 minutes later because he didn't delay the castle being in a good position, and he didn't keep Barles at home and keep him squished into the corner where he could get better stone walls and better coverage of the map. So, yeah. Anyways, maybe I'm just crazy, but I thought that was really cool to bring up. They probably have started the next game, so we got to hop into that now.